Did India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi gets a rousing welcome as he arrives in London on two-day visit to the UK. Will hold wide-ranging discussions with his counterpart Keir Starmer on entire gamut of bilateral relations. Russia-Ukraine agree to exchange 1,200 POWs from each side in the latest round of talks in Istanbul. Kyiv proposes Zelensky put in talks in August. Two sides still far apart on ceasefire and key issues. US approves the $322 million in weapons sales to Ukraine to enhance its air defense capabilities. Latest proposed military sale follows another announced in May for F-16 training and sustainment. Beijing hosts the 25th EU-China summit to mark the 50th anniversary of the establishment of EU-China bilateral ties. Trade, global geopolitical challenges and climate change on agenda. EU leaders also to meet President Xi. And in sports, rising chess star Divya Desmukh makes history, becomes the first Indian to reach the finals of the FIDE Women's Chess World Cup, beats Tan Zhongyi of China in semis. And on to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in the United Kingdom on Wednesday in the first leg of his two-nation visit. Prime Minister Modi landed in London for a two-day visit to the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Modi will hold discussions with his UK counterpart Keir Starmer. The two leaders will have the opportunity to further enhance economic partnership aimed at fostering prosperity, growth and jobs creation in both countries. Prime Minister Modi will also call on King Charles III. This is Prime Minister's fourth visit to the United Kingdom since assuming office. He has visited previously in 2015 and 2018, and he was there in 2021 as well for the COP26 summit in Glasgow. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi was welcomed and greeted by the members of the Indian diaspora in London during his ongoing visit to the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Modi received a grand welcome from the Indian diaspora. Prime Minister Modi also interacted with the members of the diaspora. Well, members of the diaspora expressed joy and admiration after meeting the Prime Minister, calling the moment surreal and emotionally overwhelming. Well, Prime Minister Modi was welcomed by the Indian diaspora with cultural performances from the states of Assam, Gujarat, Bihar and Odisha. DD India correspondent Gautam Roy spoke to one such a group who performed traditional drum and tasha to welcome Prime Minister Modi. Listen in.
What exactly did you do in front of Prime Minister, and how is it, playing for him?
What we played right now is called Nashik Dhol. It's very traditional to the music what we play in India during Ganpati festival. So these are dhols, these are tashas. We practiced for 2 months just to perform here, and it's a very intense practice.
And how is it for you? You were playing these cymbals.
It was indeed a great experience. Actually, as she mentioned that we've been practicing hard all through for this very event to perform in front of the Prime Minister. It is a very joyous occasion, and we indeed are very proud that we could play our local art in front of him, and also everyone here that enjoyed. It was indeed a lovely experience to speak of.
How did the Prime Minister appreciate what you performed for him?
Well, I think he coming towards us and waving at us, appreciating the energy that we bring to this was a great, in fact. And we are very proud to have Modi in UK. I think he is a super Prime Minister. He has done a lot of work for India, and we really are proud of him.
And you put this together for everyone, for the Prime Minister?
Yes, we are very proud when we were invited to play with the Prime Minister being here, and I think it has really paid rich dividends. The Prime Minister himself came to our troupe twice, so that's a very proud moment for Maharashtra Mandal London and the entire Maharashtra and the entire India. Thank you very much.
So that is the sentiment, sense of pride that has brought a lot of people from the Indian diaspora here to greet Prime Minister Modi on this occasion of his arrival for the fourth time in the UK, and in a visit which is expected to take India and UK relations to unprecedented heights through an FTA. With camera person Sanjay Jana, Gautam Roy, London, DD India.
And DD India correspondent Gautam Roy spoke to the UK winners of Bharat Ko Janiyo or Know About India contest held by India's Ministry of External Affairs worldwide, who also got to greet Prime Minister Narendra Modi upon his arrival in London. Listen in.
A very enthusiastic contingent of the Indian diaspora, 1.8 million strong, has greeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his arrival in the UK for the fourth time. And among them were the winners of this contest that was held here, Bharat Ko Jane, which is Know About India. And he's met all of them, and we have some of them with us. And with him is also Nick, who's among the winners, and he's got a +91 number. Namaskar, how are you?
I do have a +91 number. I live in India, but I'm very proud to be here in England with all these wonderful winners. And I was lucky enough to be a winner myself. I managed to get the questions right, despite being British. I have a deep love and affection for India and read everything I can.
Congratulations. So how was it meeting the Prime Minister of India?
It's a great honour. I've met
him earlier as well.
Several times over the years. But to meet him in Britain is a first for me, and it's fantastic to see him here with this incredible welcome.
Congratulations to you as well. How was it meeting Prime Minister Modi, and how was the contest?
It's a wonderful atmosphere here, I have to say. It's so vibrant and so full of energy. So that's been the best part of the evening. The quiz, I think, was fantastic in understanding a lot more about India. So many facts, so many nuances about India, so it's been a great journey to actually be a part of the content.
And I see you holding that up, so you're among the winners yourself. What can you tell us about the contest and the experience of meeting Prime Minister Modi?
I think it's one of the brilliant things. You get to know your country. It is very important for people like us who have left India and come. It's a very good way of staying in touch with our country, and especially when the PM visits you. It's amazing feeling, you know.
I'm glad that I came to this place. The High Commission of India gave us this opportunity, and I'm proud of being an Indian, and like Modi ji as a leader of a country. I think that's the best thing that could have ever happened to our country.
Did you have any sort of an exchange with the Prime Minister?
We shook hands, so I think that was amazing to just have, you know, be there in his aura. I think it was amazing. It is a moment that I think I will carry with me throughout.
Wonderful. So there you have it. That's the kind of sentiment that all the people in the Indian diaspora have, and these are some of the people who have gone away from the country, but they won a contest where they've answered questions about India, and they have come out trumps, and that is the kind of sentiment that keeps them connected with their homeland, and that is what has brought them here to greet Prime Minister Modi upon his arrival to the UK for the fourth time, where this visit holds a huge amount of promise for both the countries. With camera person Sanjay Jana, Gautam Roy, London, DD India.
And the UK has a 1.8 million strong Indian diaspora, which is looking forward to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit. DD India's Gautam Roy has spoken with Lord Ramiringa, member House of Lords, a well-known businessman of Indian origin and a Conservative Party politician, about the expectations of the Indian community in the UK with Prime Minister Modi's upcoming trip to London.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on his fourth visit to the UK since 2014, on the 23rd and the 24th of July, and a lot of anticipation is built into this visit. With us is Lord Remy Ranger of Mayfair to talk about it. What can you tell us about your assessment of the tie so far, and What do you expect from this visit?
This will be a mother of all trade deals because this will be between the oldest democracy and the largest democracies of the world, sharing equal values.
Is that sort of a message that you expect the two leaders to send out as well when Prime Minister Modi meets Prime Minister Starmer?
Well, India is playing already a very important role in fighting against terrorism. The Quad is a proof that they value India's security. India is doing what the civilized world want to do. So therefore, the Prime Minister Starmer will be overjoyed to receive Prime Minister Modi, the most popular and the most decorated Prime Minister in the world, who has been honored not only by Shia Iran but also Sunni Saudi Arabia. That just shows you diplomacy. He's not only respected by Putin, but he's also respected by Trump. Yes. The two rivals, they envy. That just shows that we play a center stage. We don't want to join any groups. We are master of our own destiny, and therefore our contribution to the world will be balanced, collaborated, and just equitable. For the last 10 years, ever since Modi ji come, we say with proud, I'm Indian. Wow. Everybody now says, I'm Indian. Even the Pakistani friends say we're Indian.
Well, let's hope that Prime Minister Modi this time around, along with his counterpart Keir Starmer, lead to a more heady and fruitful relationship between India and the United Kingdom. With cameraperson Jaina, Gautam Roy, London, DD India.
Well, India and UK are set to exchange an over 2,000 pages long trade agreement document during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's UK visit on Thursday. DD India's Gautam Roy has sent us this report from London, taking a deeper look into such trade pacts which have been of tremendous benefit to India so far.
In the changing dynamics of global trade, one term frequently comes up, FTA, or Free Trade Agreement. What is this agreement? How does it boost the economies of nations? And which countries has India signed such agreements with? Let's explain in detail. An FTA is a trade agreement between two or more countries. There's reduction in customs duties, relaxations in trade regulations, concessions or tariffs for goods and services. These include topics like intellectual property, investment, and government procurement. Under a free trade agreement, two countries or more agree to reduce tariffs or customs duties on each other's products and services, eliminate non-tariff barriers, and facilitate easier access to each other's markets. FTAs make trade more competitive, boost exports, attract investments, and rapidly create jobs. So far, India has entered into FTAs with several countries and organizations, including the 10-country organization ASEAN, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Australia, UAE, Mauritius, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, European Group EFTA, which includes Norway, Switzerland, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. India currently has over 15 active FTAs, or comprehensive trade agreements, through which it has expanded its export reach in international markets. These agreements have significantly helped India's MSME sector grow and provide global recognition to the services sector, particularly IT, education, and healthcare. The benefits of India's FTAs are clearly reflected in the numbers. 90% of India's exports to the UAE became duty-free, including textiles, gems, and pharmaceuticals. A 12% increase in India's exports to the UAE has been registered in the first year itself. A 25% rise in FDI inflows to India has taken place due to the Australia Agreement. A 15% increase in India's textile exports to ASEAN countries has also been achieved post the FTA. Agricultural exports have grown, boosting rural incomes. Duty reductions on sugar and tea in Mauritius increased agricultural exports. India benefits from technology and knowledge transfer. The Australian government has been highly beneficial for green energy, and standardization and certification of Indian products in European countries has become simpler. In summary, an FTA is not just a trade agreement, it's a strategic partnership that bridges diplomacy, economics, and national interests. Gautam Roy's report, London, DD India.
Well, on the fourth day of a month-long monsoon session of Indian Parliament, the Upper House is to take the Carriage of Goods by Sea Bill 2025 for consideration and passing. The bill to provide for the responsibilities, liabilities, rights and immunities attached to carriers with respect to the carriage of goods by sea. Well, the Coastal Shipping Bill 2025 will also be taken up for consideration and passing. The bill to consolidate and amend the law relating to regulation of coastal shipping, promote coasting trade, and encourage domestic participation. Well, the lower house of the Parliament to discuss the readjustment of representation of scheduled tribes in assembly constituencies of the State of Goa Bill 2024. The Merchant Shipping Bill 2024 will also be discussed in the House to consolidate and amend the law relating to merchant shipping to ensure compliance with India's obligation. Meanwhile, the centre and the opposition hit out at each other on Wednesday over the issue of special intensive revision electoral rolls in Bihar. Both the houses were adjourned for the day following sloganeering by the opposition on the matter. This deadlock comes after the first 2 days of the session witnessed a stormy parliament, indicating the opposition's approach. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. UN's top court declares climate action a legal duty, boosting hopes for vulnerable nations. IAEA delegation to visit Iran soon, but nuclear site access denied amid rising tensions. Half centuries from Jaiswal Sudarshan power India to 264 for 4 on day 1 of Manchester Test.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Vipakshi Khurana. And moving on, a team of burn specialists and nurses equipped with necessary medical support from India arrived in Dhaka on Wednesday night to treat the burn victims of the jet crash. The specialized team consists of doctors and nurses from Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital and Safdarjung Hospital in Delhi, which are the two top hospitals in India specializing in burns and plastic surgery. The team will assist in the treatment of victims of Monday's aircraft crash. They will make an assessment of the condition of patients with a recommendation for further treatment and specialized care in India as necessary. Indian High Commission in Dhaka said the additional medical teams may also follow depending on their preliminary assessment and treatment. Early on July 21st, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed condolences at the loss of lives in the tragic air crash in Dhaka and conveyed assurances of support and assistance. And Russian and Ukrainian negotiators met in Istanbul on Wednesday for their first peace talks in more than 7 weeks, with Moscow under pressure from US President Donald Trump to strike a deal or face tough new sanctions. Opening the meeting, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan said he hoped the parties would make progress based on documents they exchanged at their last encounter in June in order to end this bloody war as soon as possible. Ukraine wanted the meeting to lay the ground for a summit between Presidents Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin that it sees as the key to any potential breakthrough. but the Kremlin planed down expectations of any breakthrough in Istanbul. Previous talks on May 16th and June 2nd led to the exchange of thousands of prisoners of war and the remains of dead soldiers. But those meetings lasted less than 3 hours in total and made no breakthrough towards ending the war that started with Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. While the head of Kyiv has offered Moscow to hold a leaders' summit aimed at ending the conflict by the end of August.
The priority number one is to organize a meeting of the leaders of presidents, where participation of President Trump and Erdogan will be most valuable. A real ceasefire and end to all strikes on civilian infrastructure. These can be a crucial first steps towards lasting peace. We propose to the Russian side to hold such a meeting of leaders until the end of August. By agreeing to this proposal, Russia can clearly demonstrate its constructive approach to everyone around the world, including our partners. Ukraine keeps insisting on a full and unconditional ceasefire as the necessary basis for effective diplomacy.
Well, Russia received a new group prisoners of war from Ukraine soon after the end of the latest round of peace talks in Turkey on Wednesday. The Russian Defense Ministry published video showing men in uniform cheering as the boarded buses at an undisclosed location in Belarus, believed to be close to the Ukrainian border. Earlier, Moscow's chief delegate at the Istanbul talks, Vladimir Medensky, told reporters that Russia agreed at Wednesday's third round of direct talks with Ukraine to swap more POWs and said Russia was ready to hand over 3,000 more bodies of dead soldiers. Asked about Ukraine's call for a meeting between Presidents Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin, Medensky said such a summit should only be used for signing documents, not for holding discussions. And the United States has announced the approval of $322 million in arms sale to bolster Ukraine's air defenses and its armored combat vehicles. The potential sales include $172 million for Hawk Phase 3 air defense systems covering maintenance, trucks, spare parts, repairs and training. Additionally, $150 million is allocated for Bradley infantry fighting vehicles along with their repair and technical support. The announcement comes after Washington temporarily halted some weapons shipments to Ukraine early this month, even as Kyiv faced heavy Russian missile and drone attacks. President Donald Trump then made an abrupt change in posture, pledging publicly early this month to continue to send weapons to Ukraine. And EU leaders arrived in Beijing early on Thursday for the 25th China-European Union Summit, a meeting coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of China-EU diplomatic ties. Well, President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, representing the EU, will meet Chinese President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. And a delegation from the International Atomic Energy Agency will visit Iran within 2 to 3 weeks, an Iranian official said on Wednesday, adding that the group will not have access to the country's nuclear sites. The IAEA has said it is essential for it to be able to resume inspections in Iran following airstrikes by Israel and the US last month that aimed to destroy the country's nuclear program in a bid to stop Tehran building a nuclear weapon. Tehran denies seeking a nuclear weapon and says its nuclear program is solely meant for civilian purposes. And the United Nations highest court on Wednesday said that countries must address the urgent and existential threat of climate change by cooperating to curb emissions, as it delivered an opinion set to determine future environmental litigation. The International Court of Justice said failure by countries to meet their climate obligations could, in specific cases, lead other states affected by climate change to litigate. The opinion by the ICJ, also known as the World Court, was immediately welcomed by environmental groups. And moving on to some sports news now, India's rising chess star Divya Desmukh scripted history on Wednesday by becoming the first Indian to reach the finals of the prestigious FIDE Women's World Cup currently underway in Georgia. The 19-year-old stunned the chess world by defeating former world champion and current world number 4 Tan Zhongyi of China in the semi-final. With this victory, the 19-year-old not only secures a spot in the final of the prestigious event, but also earns a coveted Grandmaster norm and qualifies for the next Women Candidate tournament, a major step forward in her career. And in cricket, half-centuries from left-hand batters Sai Sudarshan and Yashasvi Jaiswal took India to a total of 264 4-4 at the end of the first day of the fourth test against England on Wednesday at Old Trafford in Manchester. Earlier in the day, England won the toss and opted to field first. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.